Welcome to East by West Farms. Here we grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Today I'm going to make some butternut squash wine. You can see that we got quite a lot of butternut squash over here. We grew this from the seeds. Actually, we harvest from the butternut squash we bought from Aldi. This, I believe, is the second year of those seeds, and they are great squash to grow because they don't mind the heavy clay and they produce quite a lot. We have been eating this for the last 2 or 3 months and still have quite some left. So the good way to consume a large amount of the butternut squash is to make wine out of it. We made this rice one last week. It's very quick, after 24 hours, and it's ready. So it's been sitting in the refrigerator, and usually it can be stored in the refrigerator for about 2 weeks before it's getting old, so to speak. What I'm going to do today is to use this rice wine as the starter to make butternut squash wine. To make butternut squash wine, we need to cook the butternut squash. So first we need to process and cut it into pieces. Most of the seeds are on this end, and then on the top, actually, there's no seeds at all. What I usually do is to open it up or cut it in half in the middle. Butternut squash is actually very firm, so it's not easy to cut. That's why you need a big Chinese knife like this. All right. So you can see that when I open this up, over here is completely solid. Over here, you can see I'm actually pretty good at catching the cut just right above the cavity. And so now, cut. And that's what the cavity look like. So interesting. This one is already sprout in the inside of the cavity. This has lots of seeds in there, so I'm going to save the seeds. They are very fat, so that means that the butternut squash is very well matured. That's the seeds we got from the 4 butternut squash. After it's dry, you can roast it. It actually tastes pretty good, but I'm just going to use it to try to grow some microgreens. After that, of course, I need to cut it into small pieces to skin it. After that, I will need to cut it into small pieces. Because I will mash it later, so the size of the cube doesn't matter that much. So it's about 1 inch cube, 1 to ½ inch cube kind of thing. So I just scoop this out. It's a nice thing with a Chinese knife. You can use it as a scooper to scoop, transport all this into a saucepan. The reason I'm using a saucepan is because the butternut squash will collapse after I cook it and smash it. I need twice as much for the instant pot, and so that's why I'm using the saucepan. I'm going to cook it here and then smash it and then mix it with the sticky rice wine and then put it in the instant pot for fermentation. The butternut squash is very well cooked, and now the next step is to mix the rice wine with the butternut squash. The ratio what I usually use is 1 part of the rice wine with maybe 8 parts of the butternut squash. It's not that critical. The more wine, rice wine you have, the faster it ferment. If you have more butternut squash, it takes longer. So it's not that critical. So what I do is I will scoop out this butternut squash and put it in the pot that has the rice wine. And then I will use a rolling pin and then smash the butternut squash into mashes. The butternut squash is all smashed up and mixed well with the sticky rice wine. As it's ready to go into the instant pot. I'm using the same setting as making the sticky rice wine. Basically use the setting of yogurt and make sure it's in normal, and the timer is set at 24 hours. This might take a little bit longer than 24 hours. I come back after 24 hours, taste it, and decide whether I want to go longer or shorter. Oh, I cannot go shorter. I will. In this video, I showed you how to make butternut squash wine using the sticky rice wine as the starter. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumb up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it down below. If you have not done so, please hit the subscribe button to follow our journey with the East by West Farms.